Okay, so a few things that have happened this week. Today, actually, I went and I got some groceries, and while I was there, a gentleman complimented me on my jacket, this jacket, and I said I liked it because it reminded me of Star Wars, because of the sleeves, because I couldn't think of the word for shoulders. And then a woman in the exit vestibule complimented me on the large amount of ice cream that I was purchasing, which to most people would probably have come across as an insult, but to me I took as an opportunity to launch into a commercial about the ice cream that I buy because I really like it because it's low calorie and high protein. And then her adult daughter came in and I launched into the spiel all over again because I'm a normal person with normal interests and normal hobbies. Anyway, outside of my adventures in the grocery store, this week I also was able to participate in a number of political events, that number being one political event, but it was still a very valid one. We had the nominee for the Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, was up for her nomination vote, and our state senator here, Senator Deb Fischer, was seeming to be on the fence as to whether or not she would vote for DeVos. Our other senator had already thrown his hat in as he was hook, line, and sinker for her, which is a whole other matter entirely. But with Senator Fischer, she has a background that would preclude her from just jumping into charter schools. She understands, or theoretically should understand, the value of a public school system. And so for her to back Ms. DeVos would be a major slap to, well, pretty much everyone, but especially people who say, look at your history, look at what all of us are asking for, you really shouldn't vote forward this woman. Even if you think that charter schools are a valid option, you know, that's between you and your God. But at the end of the day, this person, Betsy DeVos, is not the person to implement that kind of large-scale change, even if you value charter schools over public schools. So, just on its face, this is a vote this down if you are a reasonable, compassionate human being. And two Republican senators did break from their party because they actually, care about their constituents, and voted against Ms. DeVos. And so for the first time ever, the vice president had to break a tie on a cabinet nominee. Ever. We were none too pleased about her intentions to vote for Ms. DeVos, so we went out to 120th and Center and protested near her office. And it was a great example of people from all different stripes coming out to oppose something that is just fundamentally wrong. It was all around a good demonstration, well attended. Another thing that's kind of come up in local politics this week has been surprisingly very related to one of the races I might run in, which is Douglas County Commissioner. And the Douglas County Commission is also where the property valuations, the property assessor is through. And so recently we've seen a huge amount of property valuations fluctuate wildly. Some went down, but a lot went up, especially in the western half of the city. And so a lot of people are understandably very upset because they're going to be paying a lot more in property taxes than they were previously. And the argument that I've heard so far on why this is because previously they'd been undervalued just because that's how they'd been doing it prior to this, and we needed to update them to be correct valuations. So now that they're huge jumps and changes in price. And so it's got a lot of people frustrated. It's got the assessor that we have now more or less with her hands tied, and it's just leading a lot of people to say, we've got to find a solution to this. And that's good. That means that hopefully we will find a logical solution that leaves everybody understanding. I am hopeful that they will come up with something that will at least let people feel like this was heard, and a solution was found that did the best for both the state and for the people whose properties were valued in a extravagant fashion. The other thing is I talked to a person who is going to be running for the state senator position in District 8. District 8 is the neighborhood that my parents live in that I'm theoretically might still move to do the Douglas County Commissioner position in that neighborhood. But I likely won't run for the state senate in that neighborhood because this party is looking to run, and I think they are an exemplary person. So given that, I don't want to tell you who they are because I want them to be able to announce that in their own time. But I think when you do find out who it is, and you learn up on this person, you will be very excited for them to be advocating for progressive issues in the state Senate. So that's awesome. Anyway, that pretty much wraps up what's happened so far this week. I appreciate you tuning in, and until next time, see you around.